Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Car Reviews podcast on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Just a reminder that we also have the Collector Car Stories podcast. You'll find that on our podcast page on the website and also on our YouTube channel. There's a weekly episode there with an enthusiast telling his or her story about cars and enthusiast pursuits. We really have a lot of fun with them. We hope you'll check them out. But for today's car review, we're talking about a 2010 Ford Mustang GT convertible. So GT, it's got the 4.6 liter V8, a stick. I think what we'll do next is we'll start up the car, put the top down, and this one's a convertible, and we'll pop the hood, listen to the engine run, and go from there. So here we go with starting up the 2010 Ford Mustang GT convertible. It is lot 200 or lot 200 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Okay, so we'll give the engine a crank. Let's have a listen. Okay, we're started. Maybe the camera can pan out and get a look at the top coming down. Couple of releases here on the 2010. Pretty simple though, power top. I didn't mention the mileage on this car. It's under 45,000 kilometers, so I expected the top to run without any trouble at all. As I speak, I read the odometer at 44252. So this car is definitely going to its new owner under 45,000 kilometers. So let's pop that hood, have a look. All right. So this version of the Mustang is known, excuse me, as the S197. So it followed the SN95. Went to the kind of nostalgic look. You can see the front end of the car harkens back to 1969 when there were the two sets of lights. In fact, on this car, the center lights are the fogs and the outside lights, as you'd expect, are the headlights. But getting down to business here, 4.6 liter V8 engine. It was factory rated at 315 horsepower. So quite a surge from the Fox bodies of yesteryear. And torque rating, 325 pound-feet. So not lazy at all. I like seeing this stabilizer bar. Being a Fox body owner, I know the Fox body Mustangs, former Fox body owner I should say, they could have used a little more stability, and that's addressed certainly with that stability bar. And I also like up here the sort of decorative work on those valve covers with the Mustang logo and the Powered by Ford script. So why don't we walk around to the back? We'll have a listen to the exhaust. Another neat thing about this car is it's got an aftermarket exhaust. So if the camera is able to get the very top of the pipe, you'll see the Flowmaster insignia. So you'll see that on both sides. So a dual exhaust on this 2010 Mustang GT convertible, and it really does have a roar. I'm not one really to rev engines to the red line, but just because this one sounds nice, I'm going to give it a little gas. Maybe we can get the microphone up close to those pipes when I do that. So it does have an aggressive rumble gurgle. We also have some driving videos on the listing. Again, it's lot 200, lot 200 on CollectorCarCanada.CA, and you'll be able to see those. You probably noticed what you think might be a trailer hitch on this car, or a hitch hookup. I wanted to address that. It's not trailer. This would be too small for any trailer. It's for a bike rack. So a bike rack connects on there, and the bikes can be carried protecting the paint, which is nice. So I'm going to cut the engine, and we'll have a closer look at the exterior of this Mustang. Put the hood down as well. So as I was saying, on this front end with the 4 lights across, of course there's the Mustang emblem in the center. The centers are fog lights and the outsides are, as you'd expect, HID headlights. But it really does have the look of the 69 Mustang, certainly in terms of that light treatment. There is I know I'm dealing with a fastidious owner when he points this out. There is a small stone chip here on the hood. Maybe the camera could come up close. I'm not going to guarantee the camera will be able to see it. So right in between the camera and my coin is a small chip, and I'm using the coin to give you some perspective. Pretty small, but the owner wanted to point that out. There are a couple of other flaws in the paint, so while I'm talking about them, I'll point them out. Here on the hood, he mentioned that something dropped on the car when it was stored in his garage. And then a little bit, there's a bit of an imperfection over here on the rear bumper cover. Some of the clear coat is peeled off a little bit, but just on the bumper cover, not on the metal. So I'll meet the camera on the other side of the car from the front. So it's kind of a neat styled hood. You do see an uprise in it, accommodating the 4.6 liter engine. Maybe you can show the wheels, Mr. Cameraman. They're also an upgrade. They're made by Fast. I'll mention though that the tire sizes are original. There are General G-Max tires on this car. They're W rated, and at all four corners they're 245, 45, 19. So those lights certainly are one thing that distinguishes the 2010 GT from the V6 Mustang. You'll also see the GT emblem on the fender just before the door opening. And another neat thing that Ford does with these Mustangs, I like this little embossed Mustang logo here in the center of the windshield. It's subtle, might be hard to pick up, but I like to notice these things. So yeah, the Fast wheels in place at all four corners. Another tell of that we're dealing with a Mustang GT here is this emblem's got the GT in the center. Let's take a look at the inside of the car, the interior cabin. So we did show the car with the top up. The rest of the video will be with it down. We've got a 240 kilometer an hour speedometer. So Canadian car, the dominant measure on the speedometer is kilometers an hour. And our tachometer on the right side is 8,000 max with a 6,500 RPM red line. If the camera can get a look at those two gauges through the steering wheel, you can see the look Ford was going for, kind of the nostalgic look from the first generation Mustang, which was 65 to 73. The sportier, certainly original Mustangs, certainly the Pony Edition, had those round gauges, and the font, even the fonts used in these ones harken back to those days. A well-optioned car, as you might expect. I think I did mention manual transmission, so a 5-speed manual with traction control. Here's where you turn the traction control off. Shaker stereo, so I haven't cranked up the radio, but I'll bet it is a boomer given that Shaker is showing off its emblem on them. We might have to cut this video a little short. The skies are getting gray, but we'll say power seats on both sides, and just your typical HVAC system here with air conditioning that blows nice and cold. Power locks, power windows, the power top as we saw. Speakers on the doors and in the rear for the big shaker system. But yeah, nice off-white leather interior, perforated seats, which helps with cooling in the hot summer. I did notice power outlet up here and cup holders in here as well. Let's take a quick look at the trunk. Not much out of the ordinary here, just some cleaning supplies in there. The folder of documentation will include on the listing, but there is a spare tire in there, space saver spare, and yeah, nice clean trunk. If you can get a shot of the underside, Mr. Cameraman, I certainly took. We do have some underside photos on the listing, nice and clean in there as well. So I think we better wrap up the video to beat the rain. Again, CollectorCarCanada.CA, lot 200, 2010 Ford Mustang, convertible GT. with under 45,000 kilometers. It's a 5-speed manual. So please do take a look at the listing itself, CollectorCarCanada.CA lot 200. And don't forget about our Collector Car Stories podcast, where you'll find a fun story every week. Please take a look when you have a chance. Thanks for watching.